Okay, let's get going on curved segments here today. So our plan on this is we're going to be opening up a file. There's two different files that we'll be working on. They're very similar, but we're going to be working on 11.1 today, and that's going to be our kind of focus. So first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and open up the file in the Insight file. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and then on my desktop there's going to be an Insight Files folder, and in there should be Pen Tool Exercise 1, and yours will only have that 1 in it right now. Then we hit Open, and then center it up. Now the first thing we have to do is we've got to make sure that we retitle this, because if you don't and you hand this in and everybody does that, or 10 people do that, I'm going to have all these 10 Pen Tool exercises with a dash number behind it, because they're not retitled, they're not specific, and they'll be just repeating that. I want to make a copy of it, so it puts a -2 on it. And this is all, everybody's working from the same template, so they'll all look exactly the same. I won't know who they belong to. So make sure you retitle them, and the way you do that is File, Save As, and then up here at the top, I'm going to get rid of all of this, Pen Tool Exercise 1, and I'm going to do 11.1, that's the assignment number, Maves R01, I'll just put it in that folder. I'm going to go to my folder on the desktop and hit save. And now it will change that to Maves.01. Okay, so that's now mine. That belongs to me now. Okay, so first thing I want to do is make sure that my pen tool is set up. So this is going to be very specific. There's going to be a lot of very specific instructions here. So it says click, click, and that's just what you're going to be doing. So this is something we've already done with straight tools, straight segments or paths. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my fill, make it transparent, and then I'm going to make sure that my stroke is black. It could be any color, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to use black. And then I'm going to select my pen tool by hitting the letter P, and I'm going to follow the numbers here. So I'm going to click. This is just review. And as I'm drawing, just getting right to the middle, just working on my control, because pen tool is all about control. And the thing about the pen tool that makes it so difficult is that it's like blind contour drawing. So see that little, make sure that's like that. Because you're not watching yourself draw, you're looking at the screen while your hand is working. And so that is there's a reaction in your brain that's happening. It's called crossing over. And it is a very powerful tool that your corpus callosum in your brain, the nerves that talk to the left and right brain, it's working really hard. And it can actually be very exhausting to spend a lot of time working with the pen tool if you're not real comfortable with it, because your brain is so kind of on overdrive. Okay, so now we're going to talk about curves. So curved lines or curved paths or curved segments, all mean the same thing. So what I'm going to do, see it says number 1 here. So it says click and press here, hold down the shift key. So I'm going to hold the shift key down, click and drag, and I'm going to drag this out. So what I just pulled out are these handles. So there's my anchor that's still activated, and here's my handles. So the handles are just that. They'll let you adjust a line. I'll show you how that happens in just a second. So I'm going to pull this out, and what this handle, by pulling it this direction, by taking this, holding the shift key and pulling it this direction, what I'm telling that is the line now is going to be going that direction. Whichever direction I pull the handle out, that's the direction it's going to go. So then I'm going to come down, so 1, 2. Now number 3 is, I'm going to hold the shift key down, click and drag to number 4, and then you'll see that this line, this handle, this curve went this way. The back handle is then defining how the curve is coming into that anchor. So outgoing, incoming. And then it's the same here. Outgoing, hold the shift key down, incoming, hold the shift key down, pull it, and then I'm going to hold the shift key down and pull it out again. And then it should make my perfect little circle. Okay, so do it a couple times. Don't just do it once. Do it a couple times. So hold it 1 to 2. I'm holding the shift key down. 3 to 4. Hold the shift key down. Drop it. Hold the shift key down. Drop it. And then when I get on, I'm going to make sure that the 0, the little O, is on there. That's going to make a closed path. I'm going to take that, drag it out, and let it go. So there's my little circle now that I've made. Okay, and I could do the same thing with my shape tool, right? I could do the same thing, but there's times where you want to be able to make your own circle and you can adjust it. So if I want to adjust this path, I can double click this, and this handle now allows me to adjust it, and we're going to get to that in just a second. Okay, so just make a perfect circle there. That's great. And then let's go ahead and save these. Let's go ahead and save really quick. That way we have everything that we've done up to this point is all saved. If something happens on the computer, then we can do something to come right back to it. So I'm going to hold my shift key down. I'm going to scroll over to multiple curves. Okay. Now it's all the same. We're still going to be clicking and dragging and holding the shift key down. I'm going to grab my pen tool, letter P, right there. And then I'm going to hold my shift key, drag it up, go. Now I'm not clicking anything else. I'm going to come back over to this number here, number 3. I'm going to hold my shift key down. I'm going to drag it straight down. Let go of it. Go over to 5. Drag it up to 6. Then I'm going to grab 7 to 8. And then I'm going to click off of it with the selection tool. So it makes that little perfect path for me that just follows that curve. Let's do it again. Just select it, delete it. I'm going to grab this path. I'm going to drag it up. 3 to 4. 5 to 6. 7 to 8. And then there's my new path. Okay. So remember that the shift key is still constraining. Okay, it's still constraining that line. Okay, so if I hold the shift key down, if I don't hold it down, see, I can go anywhere that I want. And if I want to make all kinds of crazy curves, I can. But if I want to have a very specific curve and be in control, which is what we're doing right now, we're going to do more open curves, open paths when we do our working on our chairs or in our zoo signs, when we start working on that assignment in the next couple of days. So I'm going to grab this up, shift and drag, shift and drag, and I would always do them a couple of times. Okay, there we go. Click on that, and I'm going to save it. Command save. Got that done. I'm going to scoot over to the curves with corner points. Okay, now we're going to be learning about just the process of not using the shift key. So what we're going to take this is we're going to do a shift key. I'm going to get my pen tool. I'm going to take the shift key, hold it down, drag it down. This time I'm just going to not hold the shift, not at all. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to click like that. And that makes my first curve. Okay, so I didn't define an incoming path. Okay, so all I have is this one handle that's defining this curve. This one doesn't have an incoming path. All I did was just select it, make an anchor. Now I'm going to hold my shift key down, and I'm going to hover over top of that activated anchor, and I'm going to drag a handle out, let go of it, and then I'm going to click. I'm going to hover over this anchor. I'm going to drag a handle out, and then I'm just going to click, and I could do that on and on and on and on and on. Okay, as many times as I wanted to. Okay, and then I could take another one here if I want. I can drag this one down, I come over here, and just click. It'll make another one for me as many times as I want. Okay, let's try that again. Pen tool, shift and drag. Just going to click, hover over it, shift and drag, click. Hold shift down, hover over it, drag, click. And you see that when I'm hovering over the anchor, you see that little V, upside down V? That means I'm actually over the anchor. That means I'm actually right on top of it. And so if I do anything from there, if I drag another handle that way, I can make the curve go that direction if I want. Just depends on what I need there. Okay, so make sure you're hovering right over top of that. Okay, let's scoot over now to the convert. Now this is the first time we're going to do converts. We're going to be converting an anchor. Okay, so by converting, what I'm doing is I'm actually taking a path, a handle, and I'm going to be, you notice when the handle is made, I pull it out, the two handles are connected. Okay, if I hold the Alt-Option key down and I grab one of the handles, I can break it. It's still everything is still there. I could just break that handle and I can control now where that curve is going. So I don't have to have it go I can have it do anything that I want. And then I can take this one, I can hold the Alt Option key and grab this with the Alt Option with my direct select tool. Grab that, and I can break that with my Alt Option key, so I can break it. And see how that one, now they're independent of each other, now they're broken. That means it's converted. So now I can pull it any direction that I want. This one is still here, and then when I go to do my next path, they're completely 100% independent of each other, and I can create any kind of compound shape that I want like that. And I'm using the direct select tool when I break that point. So let's try that now. Get my pen tool. I'm going to hold my shift key down, drag it up, right? Then I'm going to hold my shift key because I'm making a regular turn. I'm going to pull that down to 5. Now I'm going to hold my Alt Option key down. See that convert tool, that little upside down V? That is the convert tool. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to pull it up here, and I'm going to hold then I'm going to come over here. Still got an active anchor. I'm going to hold my shift key down, drag it down. I'm going to Alt Option, drag this up. Shift key, Alt Option, Shift key. There's that, okay? So what it did is it created this little perfect point at the bottom here for me. And so I can have these really complex kind of scalloped shapes, right? And so if you are trying to create a really complex kind of closed path, you can use that tool, the Alt Option Convert tool, to get rid of and to adjust anything you need to adjust there. Let's try it one more time. So you got to do it a couple times. So don't just do these once. Hold the shift key down, hold my shift and drag and pull, Alt Option. You'll notice that your left hand sits right on the keyboard quite a bit of the time when you're using the pen tool, because you're always bouncing back between the shift key, the Alt Option key, and then we'll add in another one here a couple of days that you'll be using as a tool there. So Alt Option, that's how I make that. So shift and drag, Alt Option, shift and drag, Alt Option. So you can make them on and on and on and on and on as many times as you need. Okay, let's try that now. Okay, so we're going to do this last. This will be the last one of this part of this tutorial part. Then we'll come back. We'll do all this together, and you get this finished. And then there'll be a second video for the bottom part. This one here, we'll do a little separate video for this curves and corner points, because this one is a fairly tricky. And I want to make sure I give you enough time to really kind of figure it out. So let's do this one here now really quick. Okay, so get my pen tool, and so shift, just follow the instructions. So shift and drag, shift and drag. Now all I have to do on this, if I want to just delete this little path here, this handle, and make a perfectly straight line, I don't have to convert that. I don't have to grab this convert. I can actually just hover over that and just click, and what it does is it deletes that last handle for me, the outgoing handle. Then I can just click here, and it makes a perfect little straight line. Then I can hover over, make sure my convert tool's there, hold my shift down, drag out a handle over here, shift and drag, click on that, and it's going to get rid of the last handle, the outgoing handle, not the one that's active, because this actually has a curved path coming into it, so it's not going to delete that one because it's active. Then I can come over here, click, makes my straight line. I'm going to hover over top of my anchor, hold my shift down, drag a handle out. I'm going to drag a handle out here, like that. Makes that shape for me. Okay, so let's try that again. So shift and drag, hover over that anchor, make sure that upside down V or the convert tool, I'm just going to select it. Now it deleted the outgoing. I don't need that, getting rid of it. Now I want to make a straight line. Add it, I'm going to hold the shift key down, drag a handle out now. I'm dragging a handle out of that anchor, and I'm going to shift and drag, delete, click, shift and drag, and then that's that. Okay, so let's try that on our own now. Okay, great.